Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. Today on the show, we've got the latest attempts by the Clippers to become a thing in Los Angeles, the most touching sneaker release of the year, Curry brand expansions, the week's top picks, and of course, a Hard Pass. All right, let's start this show with some hot takes. So, content creators who spend countless hours recapping what NBA players wear, rejoice. PJ Tucker is the newest member of the Los Angeles Clippers. Not that location matters to PJ, but I fully expect him to turn up the heat even more with crazier player exclusives and rare kicks that you didn't even know existed. Like a Nike Kobe 6 PE and a Travis Scott inspired GT cut for the game and Air Yeezy 1s for the tunnel walk. This might be the most low-key he gets the rest of the year. Oh, and we'll talk about the other guy who's on the Clippers. That'll be later in the show. Shout out to Nike Quality Control. Apparently, someone received a pair of the Nike Dunk Low Dust Olive with a missing swoosh on the right shoe. As you might expect, there's a lot of speculation that this pair is now a rare one of one that's worth $1 bajillion. But hey, I can't be the only one who saw these without the swoosh and thought, they kind of look better. I've seen other swooshless era shoes before, but this is the one time where they maybe looked better than with the swoosh. Did Nike just stumble upon their next reimagined concept by accident? Or was this a plant and they wanted to test the reaction online? Now that's something to think about. And in other Nike QC news, there's a new Nike Ja 1 colorway called Work for the Check. It features a quote from an old tweet when Ja first signed with Nike, and it goes, "All my life, my parents worked for a check. Now I'm proud to say, I work for the check." Finally, a Ja quote that Nike won't have to change or recall. A number of prized sneakers and luxury swag from Nigo's personal collection is going up for auction on Pharrell's Jupiter platform. Some of the big ticket items include Bapestas signed by Jay-Z, Kanye, and Pharrell. Meanwhile, Nigo probably has additional pairs signed by Jay-Z, Kanye, and Pharrell stashed away that will never see the light of day. This really feels like Pharrell calling up Nigo for a favor and he just found some randoms in the closet that were just collecting dust. Steph Curry and Curry Brand have signed De'Aaron Fox to a signature shoe deal, making him this generation's Carmelo Anthony. As weird as it was to hear Anthony's signature line called the Jordan Mellow, it's going to be even weirder when we start seeing Curry Foxes next year with Curry branding, Fox branding, and Under Armour desperately trying to shoehorn the UA logo in there somewhere. Let's see. Jordan CP3, Jordan why not? Okay, that one's a little less weird, I guess. Jordan Zion, Jordan Luka, Jordan Tatum? Yeah, it's still a little weird all these years later. By the way, speaking of Melo blazing a trail by being the first, remember his first Jordan commercial?
I have not won 6 world championships. Have not been selected to 14 All-Star games. I have never been the league's most valuable player. I am not Michael Jordan. I am Carmelo Anthony, his student.
So the student didn't really live up to those standards set by the teacher. Does that mean Melo was a bust? No. Dude retired a 10-time All-Star, 3 Olympic gold medalists, a scoring champ, and a member of the league's 75th anniversary team. Not having an NBA championship sucks. And of course, kind of caps his ceiling in the all-timer conversation, but that's a damn good career. If De'Aaron Fox can hit those marks, I don't think Curry Brand would mind that. Jalen Brunson offended a lot of Jordan fans this week, which really honestly isn't that hard when he said that Nike Kobe's have become how Jordans used to be on NBA courts. Now keep in mind, the key there is Kobe's are now the sneaker of choice for hoopers on the court. For some reason, this was translated to Jordan fans as WTF. The kid Jalen Brunson thinks Kobe's are better than Jordans for pulling off a fit. I will now be offended and defend my hero MJ's honor on the internet, even though he'd probably tell me to fuck off like Logan Roy if I ever saw him in person because I was being a creepy fanboy. Like, context, Jordan fans, context. And besides, lots of Jordan athletes wear the current Air Jordan on the court, and we've got PJ Tucker out there wearing sample pairs of 11s. It's okay for Kobe's to take over, man. Just know that there's a reason new LeBrons are kind of copying the Kobe blueprint. We're going to get there someday, and it's going to be scary times when Rick Brunson's grandson is in the league and he's declaring LeBrons are what Kobe's used to be. Balenciaga is back with a campaign called It's Different, and they're pairing up their latest season with tongue-in-cheek messaging like probably not what you were looking for and no blah blah. I mean, they're not wrong. I ain't never looking for these with or without blah blah, so I know they think they're trolling, but for me, they're just being honest, and I can appreciate that. So, last week, it was reported that the reason why Adidas halted their sales of remaining Yeezy stock was because of the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas. That turned out to be everybody making assumptions and projecting because days after the announcement, a huge story in the New York Times dropped that showed how Adidas tolerated behavior going all the way back to 2013 when he first signed with the brand. Adidas, more than likely, knew this report was dropping and got ahead of it in anticipation of renewed backlash towards them. There's a lot to talk about there. I mean, really, nobody comes out of that report looking good. That being said, are we going to talk about again? Hell no. We're still tired of this shit. Our stance remains. When Adidas has something new to say about the remaining Yeezy stock, we'll be back. Moving on to stories related to Adidas worth talking about and championing. Shout out to Philip Litschultz, founder of Cincinnati-based Unheard Of. The store's second collaboration with the Three Stripes is a 2-pack of rivalry lows that's based on Litschultz's grandmother's couch. And man, that video will get even the most heartless of jerks in their feels.
Complex sneakers. I'm Naomi Phillips, grandma. I was born in 1923, so I'm 100 plus 4 months. Today I'm going to unbox the Adidas Rivalry Low Grandma's Couch by Unheard Of. My husband, Charlie Phillips, painted this. Yeah, it's watercolor, and he did it on Mother's Day. Here's the shoes. Aren't they beautiful? Beautiful. That's beautiful. These are beautiful.
Look, if you felt nothing from that, you are truly the worst. Let's be real. 100% of the reason why this sneaker is on everybody's radar is the story behind it. And that's why storytelling matters. If Adidas released a rivalry low with floral print, it might just sit in stores. Tell the most heartwarming story ever about your 100-year, 4-month-old grandma? The shoes become must-haves. Moving on. The pick of the week is the Nike Air Max Plus 25th anniversary, and these are on November 9th for $185. Look, I don't know why, but when people talk about the greatest Air Maxes ever, the Air Max Plus is usually on the second tier below first ballot Hall of Famers like the Air Max 1, the Air Max 90 and 95, and so on. Don't tell that to sneakerheads in Europe, though, who adore the Plus. But that goes to show you the worldwide appeal of a silhouette in that you don't need to be a favorite in American territories to build a legacy and thrive. I mean, Sneaker Freaker is releasing a 300-page book solely about the Air Max Plus, and that should tell you something. Anyways, the 25th anniversary release features a gradient upper that calls back early colorways of the Air Max Plus and comes with special packaging. It's a lovely homage that hopefully won't be too hard to buy whether you live here in the US or in Europe, so fans can appreciate how far the shoe has come. So, earlier we talked about PJ Tucker coming to the Clippers. Now, let's talk about the player who will actually affect the team on the court, James Harden. If you don't know, I'm a fan of the 17-time world champion Los Angeles Lakers. It's not something I talk about a lot on this show, but I think it's important for you to all know the context and where my fandom lies. Anyways, no matter how many consecutive times the Clippers beat us in the regular season, I didn't care. The fact that they had players that we wanted like Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, and others, the temptation to jump ship never crossed my mind. I always knew that no matter how good things got for them, the Clippers were going to find a way to be the Clippers. And my Lakers were going to find a championship and win. Because, Lakers exceptionalism and whatnot. By the way, not talking about Dwight's current situation. Using him for this bit is just a coincidence. That being said, I'm totally going against everybody's expectations for this new iteration of the Clippers with Harden. I think he's going to fit in really well with Kawhi and Russell Westbrook. He's going to revert back to the James Harden we knew in Oklahoma City and become the third option that's OP as all hell. Not only that, the team is absolutely going to stay healthy. All of their stars, Kawhi, Russ, and Harden, are going to be all-stars, and they're going to be in the contention for the top spot in the West against Denver. Nothing could go wrong, man. The Clippers are going to Clipper this season all up in our faces, and it's going to be great. As I wink so hard and laugh at that Harden quote, I'm not a system player. I am a system. Anyway, moving on. If you ever wondered if Giannis Antetokounmpo cares about who didn't vote for him for NBA MVP, he does.
What's that? Man, championship, man. We in the chat. I'm in there. I'm gonna speak my mind too, man. I've been talking about you too. I've been talking about you. I say, Chris, man, I've been going crazy on you, man.
Why me, man?
You didn't vote for me. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, I've been speak my mind now. I've been quiet for too long.
Classic Giannis. Clapping back, but in the nicest way possible. The only thing missing was Chris going full 50 Cent meme right there. Imagine being so good at your job that something as innocuous as getting a feature on your teammate's record so you can drop some bars on someone you think is a hater is a motivating factor for you to win another ring. Between Giannis and the Joker, I don't think we've ever had two more wholesome guys be the top two players in the league. Now, I know some of you are going to say, what about Magic and Bird? To which I say, did you see Winning Time on HBO? Wait, you probably didn't, and that's why it got canceled after 2 seasons. See, now I'm sad again. Speaking of Winning Time, Magic Johnson was finally declared a billionaire by Forbes, joining Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, and LeBron James. Of course, the difference is that Magic got to his billion the hard way through his various business dealings over the past 30-something years. If only he had signed with Nike back in the days and taken those stock options. A story made famous by Winning Time. We were robbed of Nike Magic signature shoes and an epic trash talk Magic would unleash upon MJ, Tiger, LeBron, and Ja Morant after signing their checks. And look, we don't really talk about Halloween much on this show because we're kind of too old for it. And I hate that the last time I went out on Halloween without a costume, someone stopped me and asked for a picture because they look like that sneaker guy on YouTube. But there was something I noticed this year. A lot of kids in Ghostbusters costumes. I don't know if there's a resurgence in interest for the Ghostbusters or a clip of the movie blew up on TikTok, but yeah, lots of kids in uniforms with varying degrees of quality for proton packs. Like, you can tell which kid had parents who were freaks for Ghostbusters when they were kids, too, based on how accurate their packs, ghost traps, and PKE meters were. So, in the interest of killing time, and because really when else are we going to use this bit, here's the hard pass ranking of our favorite Ghostbuster things. Number 5, the blue proton pack toy that came with the yellow pool noodle. Number 4, the NES Advantage controller they used to kinda control a slimed Statue of Liberty. Number 3, the Sega Genesis game, except for the part where they didn't have Winston because Ernie Hudson wasn't as popular as Eddie Murphy. Number 2, the real Ghostbusters cartoon. Shout out to making Egon blonde because I guess why not? And number 1, Bobby Brown's On Our Own from the Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack. If you haven't heard it, go Spotify it now. So before we move on to the hard pass, I just want to say that I can finally move on with my life. Why? Because the anime finale of Attack on Titan dropped this weekend, and it was everything that I hoped it would be. Captain Levi did the damn thing, and it was glorious. Like a weight had been lifted from my shoulders because, man, Zeke was the worst. I don't think I've ever harbored such annoyance to a character, and I can't even really articulate why. Dude just had the most punchable face in all of anime. Anyway, other stuff happened in the hour-and-a-half finale, and that has a lot of people who still care about the show talking, but if we're being blunt here, I couldn't give a fuck less. The years-long breaks in between seasons halted any momentum behind those storylines that they became exhausting to follow. If I have to fire up a wiki or a fandom article just to remind myself who and what Ymir is and read think pieces that wade into the discourse about whether or not the show celebrates fascist or jingoistic ideology, you're going to lose me. Not that I had a problem with turning Eren Yeager heel and using the real world as an analog for why everything became so jaded and cynical. It's just that the show wasted nearly 5 years lecturing us in a bumbling way to get to whatever point they were trying to make. And that's what season 3 and season 4 became. An overly serious slog with the occasional breathtaking action sequence to remind its fans of what made them love the show in the first place. Anyway. All right, it's time for this week's hard pass. We'll take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go, like all you haters of true love. But first, let's start with HULU. More specifically, the comment section of a post on HULU. So, a few days ago, I saw this post on HULU's account asking who their GOAT is, Michael Jordan or LeBron James. Like, I don't even follow Hulu, and I got this post thanks to targeted ads. Anyways, they know what they did. They knew what the consequences were, and they did it anyway. I don't even need to look at the comments, but I can tell you what they are. 10,000 word diatribes about LeBron being the GOAT. Somebody going on Basketball Reference to pull all MJ's stats and accomplishments. Debates about whether 6 rings is better than 21 years of sustained excellence. Blah, blah, blah. In the end, the only thing that changed was the blood pressure of these idiots who continue to engage in this debate where nobody ever changes their mind. Also, let's be honest. Both Space Jams were mid at best. The only thing worth coming back to was the soundtrack of the first movie, and we can't even talk about that one anymore because reasons. Let's just all move on with our Space Jam 11s and not look back and talk about more wholesome things like the sanctity of marriage. So, it looks like Marcus Jordan and Lars Pippen are going to be tying the knot in the future. And you all thought it wouldn't last. I mean, my excuse is I forgot they were even together, honestly, so mazel to the happy couple. Look, I know everybody got their jokes when the rumors first started circulating about this romance.
Now, Marcus, I gave you the easiest job in the world. Trophy room, it's in the name, son. Just show off the heat, drop a few collabs, make money, repeat. And yet, you found a way to mess that up. I could take it all away, but there's something you could do for me to get back at Scotty.
Oh, right. I forgot about that voice. Anyways, people are going to say what they're going to say. But man, you know what this means, right? The wildest trophy room Jordans for the big day that will be backdoored, allegedly, to the wedding party and down the line. A Larsa Jordan collab with Jordan Brand. Think of the meme potential when that happens. Just... Scotty don't even got Jordan PEs as gifts from MJ as far as we know. And I know someone's gonna say it, but Scotty got his own signature shoes. You mean MJ couldn't hook Scotty up with some heat after they were done playing like he did for Ray Allen? He did it for Kobe. And if Scotty does have Jordan PEs, I bet you we're never going to see them now. Oh, and before I go, I guess the community is giving a hard pass to the Air Jordan 1 Royal Reimagined, which is still available in most sizes as of this recording. We'll have more to say about it next week on the show, but I have to say, we are in uncharted waters now, sneakerheads, and things are never going to be the same. Maybe, I don't know. All right, that's going to do it for the show. Thank you for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week. Be sure to check us out on the socials at Cousteau and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel here. Over at the main Cousteau channel, we've got the weekly heat check and other features, and of course, unboxings new and old. If you'd like to be featured in a future episode, call us 818-493-9325. Leave a short message or social media if you want, no more than 30 seconds. All right, I'll see you next week. Peace.